came to warn you, Jack, about a potential and very serious threat to Jabot.
I've stolen Haynes' AI program. I want to make a deal with you. Are you interested?
The Young and the Restless, Y&R, spoilers for Tuesday, February 3rd, reveal that Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, will hear more alarm bells while Claire Newman, Hayley Erin, goes digging. Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, will also face a harsh reality and urge Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, to do the same, so let's discuss what's ahead on Y&R. For starters, Nick will continue to have trust issues when it comes to Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun. Unlike Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, Nick has concerns about Sienna and doesn't think his son should remain tied to her. Nick would much rather see Noah embrace a fresh start without Sienna while she returns to Los Angeles alone. Of course, Noah wants a future with Sienna by his side, so he'll dig his heels in and insist he'll go wherever Sienna goes. Even so, Nick won't be able to shake the Sienna alarm bells going off in his head. Despite Nick's repeated warnings, Noah will refuse to listen to Nick's gut feeling and will rely on his own instincts instead. Over with Claire, she'll do some digging during a conversation with Sienna. Claire will start by questioning Sienna about her LA move with Noah and the doubts she's having about him going with her. Claire will also fish for more Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva info and wonder if maybe Sienna can remember any past details. Sienna previously acted like she didn't know much, but Claire won't give up on prying a hot scoop out of her. Anything that could back Audra into a corner and take her down would be helpful as far as Claire's concerned. At the coffee house, Tessa and Sharon will talk about the chaos Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, unleashed by kidnapping Dominic Winters, Ethan Ray Clark. The idea of Mariah snatching a child and putting his parents through so much pain will be hard for Sharon to comprehend. Abby Winters, Melissa Ordway, and Devon Winters, Brighton James, are living a nightmare thanks to Mariah's twisted actions. Tessa won't be able to make sense of it either, but she'll think they have to acknowledge that Mariah has changed in some scary ways. That's the reality they all have to accept and keep in mind during this search for Dominic. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the Dominic search will heat up in the coming episodes and bring some big news, so stick with us for updates on all the curveballs. The air in Genoa City thickens with suspicion, desperation, and the chilling echoes of the past on a Tuesday that promises to shift the axis of several lives. As old wounds threaten to reopen and new investigations take a disturbingly personal turn, the residents of this tumultuous town find themselves on the precipice of revelations that could dismantle carefully constructed realities. Nick's alarm bells, a brother's instinct clashes with a sister's trauma. At the Newman Ranch, the fragile peace that Victoria has been clinging to is about to be shattered, not by an external threat, but by the concerned gaze of her brother, Nick. Since her return from the ordeal with Jordan, Victoria has projected an image of steely resilience, throwing herself back into the CEO role at Newman Enterprises with a vengeance that masks a deep-seated tremor. Nick, however, has never been one to buy into surface-level performances. He knows his sister, the real her, beneath the power suits and the imperious demeanor. On this day, Nick's alarm bells will ring at a deafening pitch. He will notice the subtle flinch when a door slams a little too loudly, the vacant stare that overtakes her in the middle of a board meeting discussion, the way she meticulously avoids any part of the ranch that is too quiet or too reminiscent of her captivity. To everyone else, she's Victoria Newman, back and more formidable than ever. To Nick, she's a wounded animal, pretending not to limp. His attempt to breach her fortress will be met with fierce resistance. Victoria will insist she is fine, more than fine, she is victorious. She will interpret his compassion as pity and his vigilance as doubting her strength. I don't need a babysitter, Nicholas. I need everyone to get out of my way, she will likely snap, her eyes flashing with a mixture of anger and terror. This confrontation is more than a sibling squabble. It's a collision between Nick's protective, gut-driven nature and Victoria's pathological need to control her own narrative. Nick's fear is that in her refusal to address the trauma, she is creating a pressure cooker that will eventually explode, potentially putting herself and those around her in danger. He may turn to Victor, seeking advice on how to handle a woman who is as stubborn as their father, only to find Victor frustratingly circumspect, perhaps seeing Victoria's ruthless edge as an asset. Nick's journey will become one of wrestling with a terrible dilemma. How do you save someone who refuses to acknowledge they are drowning? Claire goes digging. The past beckons from the grave. Meanwhile, Claire Grace, still adjusting to the surreal reality of being embraced as a Newman, finds that the spectral presence of her aunt, Jordan, is far from exorcised. While physically imprisoned, Jordan's legacy is a maze of secrets, and Claire is drawn to its entrance. A conversation with Cole, or perhaps a seemingly innocuous comment from Victoria, will plant a seed of doubt about the complete story of her early childhood. Was there more to the sequence of events that led her from the Newman fire to Jordan's clutches? Are there other players, now silent or forgotten, who hold pieces of her shattered history? Claire's digging will begin in earnest. This isn't about exoneration for Jordan. It's about understanding herself. She may seek out archived news reports, or, more perilously, decide to visit Jordan under the guise of seeking closure, but with the real intent of interrogating the past. Every question she asks, however, is a double-edged sword. For the Newman family, particularly Victoria, Claire's newfound curiosity will feel like a betrayal, a dangerous poking at a hornet's nest they desperately want to seal away. For Claire, it's a fundamental need. The conflict here is existential. Can she truly build a future with this family if she is forbidden from examining the foundation of her own past? Her investigation will inevitably unearth a name, a date, or a discrepancy that doesn't add up, setting her on a path that could lead to a truth far more complex and devastating than the simple villainy of Jordan. Tessa's harsh reality. When the music stops. Across town, Tessa Porter is about to face the cold, hard floor of reality after the high of her musical dreams. The devastating news from the specialist about her vocal cords has left her in a state of suspended animation, but Tuesday brings the brutal impact of that diagnosis crashing into her daily life. It might be a moment in the studio with Mariah, where she tries to hum a melody only to produce a strained, painful sound. It could be catching a snippet of one of her old songs on the radio, a cruel reminder of what she's lost. Or, perhaps most poignantly, it might be during a moment with her and Mariah's daughter, Aria, when she finds she can't sing a simple lullaby. This is where the abstract concept of a career-ending injury becomes a visceral, personal grief. Tessa's identity has been so intertwined with her voice, her artistry, her expression, her livelihood. Without it, she stares into a terrifying void. Mariah will be her rock, offering unwavering support and practical solutions, but Tessa will need to navigate the stages of this grief largely alone.